think I just found the best speed cube out there. The turning is light and effortless, yet it's able to keep its shape and is very stable. It is also the best performing cube out there, with corner cuts so light and effortless, it'll make you forget that your turning sucks. Of course, the cube I'm talking about is the WRM. This is the GAN 14. Oh, I'm reading off the wrong script. That's my bad. Okay, there we go. Okay. The GAN 14 is the worst speed cube ever made. This thing sucks. Oh my gosh, somehow I didn't realize. I popped it somehow. Look. The piece just fell. How did I do this? It's not that bad. It's not good. We can call it frustrating, I guess, you know. And it doesn't help that out of the box, it's trash. Awesome. Okay. Yeah, I can already say this does not feel good. If anyone says this cube feels good out of the box, it does not. They're lying. This feels like junk out of the box. Definitely, it needs setup. And in its current state, it's just not usable. Anyways, I still had hope that it would be good because it's a GAN cube. You know, the quality of the cubes are just unmatched. And you know, it genuinely looks and feels premium, while other cubes can kind of feel like toys. So I took some time to break in the cube and set it up, and I can genuinely say that it is better than how it was out of the box. It has a really nice papery smoothness, kind of like the GAN 12. And speaking of the 12, it kind of feels like a mix between the 12 and the 13. Another thing I really like about the 14 is the core magnets. On the settings that I used, which are the strongest, it had a really nice snappy feel to it, which actually blended really well with the quick and effortless turning that the cube had. Honestly, I really enjoyed turning and spamming algs on the 14, but the problem is whenever I went to actually do solves, it sucked. However, before I get into all of the reasons why I don't like this cube, let me get into its main feature, the adjustment. Honestly, I don't care that there are 12,000, really 14,000 different settings on the GAN 14 because half of them are trash. The only good settings in my opinion are settings 4, 5, and 6 for the elasticity, all 1 through 6 settings for the center travel distance, and the strongest magnet settings, which is setting 3 for the edges, and setting 6 with the white core magnets for the corners. Now the magnet strength doesn't matter that much, as long as the magnets are on the stronger side, because this cube cannot handle weak magnets. I love adjusting and setting up my speed cubes, but this is the only cube that genuinely made me frustrated when I was trying out different settings, because no matter what I did, this cube was still way too fast, way too uncontrollable, and way too catchy. Alright, it's time for me to explain why this cube makes me mad. Because it makes me feel like I suck at speed cubing. You have to have the lightest, most accurate turn style ever to actually find success with this cube. It's just way too unforgiving, and it doesn't help that it's lightning fast and that I'm overturning every single turn. You would think that the magnets would help, but no, they don't. Because of those dumb edge repelling magnets. You know, again, can you please bring the thick magnets from the 12 back? You know, they worked perfectly fine. Why are you trying to fix something that isn't broken? I've actually had this cube pop on me, which is insane because my turning style is not rough. But for some reason, this cube just hates me. And it literally couldn't have been my settings because I was using setting 4 for the elasticity and setting 2 for the center travel, which is pretty tight. Anyways, I've counteracted that by using setting 5 for the elasticity and setting 3 for the center travel, which is pretty tight, but it was still way too fast. So I dumped a bunch of lube in it, and it was at a really nice speed for the first 10 solves. Then after that, it went back to the exact same speed as it was before. Oh my gosh, this cube is so frustrating. If I had to describe the GAN 14 in one word, that word would be catfish. On paper, this cube looks really good. You know, 12,000 different settings. Surely there is one that will fit your turn style. It also has a really nice, light, effortless turn feel with auto alignment to make sure that you won't ever slightly misalign a layer. Most of this isn't true, and the rest are just gimmicks. The GAN 14 is nothing. By trying to make a cube that appeals to everyone, GAN managed to make a cube for absolutely no one. Like, I can't even compare this to the 12 because the 12 is better in almost every single way. Even when compared to the 13, I like the 13 more You know, the 13 wasn't great, but at least it offered an amazing experience, which is something the GAN 14 does not. And it really doesn't help that GAN is asking for $88 for this. Even if you use code Alex on the Cubicle for a 5% discount, it's still way too much and isn't worth it. Now, in all seriousness, thank you to the Cubicle for sponsoring me. I would 100% recommend that you do shop there, even if you don't use my code. But you know, despite being sponsored, I'm done with GAN. Right? The 14 really upset me, and whenever the 15 comes out, I don't want to get it. But I guess if you all want me to, then maybe I'll reconsider. Anyways, the GAN 14 is definitely one of the cubes of all time. Love you, bye. Even if you use code Alex on the Cubicle for 5%.